Alrighty.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Social Radio. I am one of your co hosts. My name is Max Wagner. You got Chris Minifee, Sarah Riley, Lisa Hatchett, and we're here with Cody DesBiens.
Good job.
Yay.
Hello.
Yay. Hey, Cody.
How you doing?
So you can start grilling him with the questions if you want.
Well, I'm sure you got some, boss, so you go for it first.
I just,
But I do have
my
some.
questions are what I'm curious about is like, what made you get into doing all this?
Okay. Well, like most people in the field today, I had an experience when I was younger, around the age of 10, give or take a few years. Um, I remember being sick the night before, sick to my stomach. So I went into my parents' room to spend the night in there. And I remember laying down, going to sleep, and waking up to a bunch of men around the. Now, the bed was against the wall, so the men were coming out of the wall on the left side, going around the bed, and then going in the wall on the right side. And they looked very tribal, Native American. Some were holding up masks to their face. Um, so it absolutely frightened me. They just kept going around and around, same people, about 10 people, and
Wow.
just floating. They weren't really walking, just floating. And I remember closing my eyes really tight and trying to make it disappear, and it just wouldn't go away. Tried waking my parents up, it wouldn't wake up. I eventually just, ended up pulling the covers over my head and going to sleep. And then I never saw it again after that.
Wow.
Other things that happened in the house, you know, we'd be downstairs and all of us would hear like a dog running upstairs when we didn't have a dog at the time. Little things like that. Um, you'd hear somebody calling your name, but nobody was calling your name. It would sound like somebody in the family, but it wasn't. And then, ever since then, I mean, looking back, uh, there could have been normal explanations to what happened, lucid dreaming or whatever. But either way, what it was, I was also young. No matter what it was, it absolutely opened the door to get me into the field and kept me in it. So ever since that day, as I got older, went to the library, started reading books, different subjects, learned more and more about it,
Hmm.
till I got old enough to really start going out to investigations, public places that you could drive to. Got my license, started going to all these different places. Joined my first group when I was around 16 or 17. It was hard to find a group that would let me in, but I ended up finding, and spent a few years with them, and then moved to the groups that I'm with now. One is called Rise Up. Stands for the Rhode Island Society for the Examination of Unusual Phenomena, and the other one is I know it's a long one.
I like
Uh,
it.
the other one is right. He came up. Ken DeCosta is the founder of that group, and he came up. He wanted to come up with something that covered everything. Um, so that absolutely did it. And the other group is the Atlantic Paranormal Society. I'm a member of the
Yeah.
home team portion, which a lot of people don't really understand what that is. So it's the 10 members of TAPS that aren't featured on the show Ghost Hunters. So basically, Jason made this portion of the team when the show got
Yeah, hold on. Apparently no one can hear anything. Yeah, I know. You just went through all of that, but no one can hear it. Oh, everyone can hear me. Yeah, they can hear me, but I can't get anyone else's audio coming through. I've been sitting here doing that the entire time.
So how often? Well, I can ask this later too, but
Yeah, sure.
how often do you guys end up going out, like to
Uh,
do every
well,
weekend?
every
Every
every every single weekend between both groups, we're pretty busy. Now the thing is, some of the members of Rise Up work with TAPS, and some of the members of the TAPS home team work with Rise Up. So sometimes we share investigators.
yeah,
Um, we become really close that way. So
yeah,
it's
that's
been busy.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Somebody said it's gone again.
It's here. We have
Okay.
audio now,
Oh,
Okay,
great.
Yay.
Hello.
so we should be good now. Okay.
Hit the like button if you could hear us.
Yeah.
good. There you
Sorry.
go.
Anything to get likes.
Okay. Yeah, they can hear it. We're good
All
now.
right, great. Awesome.
Only 7
All
minutes
right.
gone.
That's okay. You want to start over?
Yeah, that's up to you.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind.
It-
So, what was the question? How did I get into?
Yeah.
All right. So, when I was younger, about 10 years old, maybe a little younger, I was probably around 8 or 9. Um, I was sick one night in the house I grew up in, and I remember going to my parents' bedroom to spend the night in there. And I fell asleep, and I ended up waking up. Now, the bed was against the wall, and I remember waking up and seeing men standing around the bed, and they were moving from left to right. They were coming in through the wall on the left side and out through the wall on the right, and then just kept going around in a circle. They looked like Native Americans. Most of them were holding up masks to their face, so they kind of looked kind of tribal. I absolutely didn't know what they were. I was confused and frightened, only because there was strange men in my house that I didn't recognize, and they kind of had a little transparency to them. They didn't look right. Something didn't look right. So I tried going to sleep. It didn't work. I tried closing my eyes. I eventually just pulled the covers over my head, and I eventually fell asleep. Uh, it never happened again. A couple of other things that happened in the house was, we'd be downstairs on the floor below, and we would hear a dog running upstairs when we didn't own a dog at the time. We'd also hear our names being called by what we thought were other family members. But when you'd go to answer them, they would yell back, "What?" because they didn't say anything. So it was little stuff like that that just didn't make sense. It wasn't normal. We didn't have any explanation for it. So that's what opened the door to the field for me. Ever since that day, I've been really interested. Now, looking back, there could have been a normal explanation to what I had seen. Many different things, lucid dreaming being an example. But no matter what it was, that's what started me off. I don't think maybe I would have got into it if I didn't have a personal experience like that. But that right there left a lot of questions in my head that I wanted to be answered.
Right.
And eventually, as I got older, I went to the library, started reading books on every supernatural topic I could get my hands on. A lot of people thought it was a little strange, but as I got older, they thought it was a little cooler. And of course, when the TV shows really broke out in the early 2000s, it became more of a social topic, as you all know, and it was more accepted. So a lot of people thought it was really cool. It used to be called the Ghost Boy in school, and used to tell different stories of what I learned. when I got my license, I started going to different public locations you could drive to. And, that's really just what started me off. I ended up joining my first group when I was about 16 or 17 years old. It was tough to find a group that would let me join, but I ended up finding one who took me under their wing. And then a few years later, I joined the groups that I am with now. I first joined Rise Up Paranormal, which stands for the Rhode Island Society for the Examination of Unusual Phenomena. So it covers all of the different supernatural topics. We investigate it all if we get a phone call. And then that led me to join the Atlantic Paranormal Society's home team, otherwise known as TAPS, which is the group featured on the show Ghost Hunters. My portion of the team is called the home team, the TAPS home team, which is the 10 or so members that aren't featured on the show. So while production was out filming their cases for TV, the home team stayed behind in New England and still does to this day, fulfilling client requests that come in through the TAPS website. So it's definitely been an interesting decade or so, and I'm definitely looking forward to the future with both of these groups, especially now since the paranormal television shows are taking a different angle than what they first were when they came out.
Right.
A lot of new equipment has hit the markets, different apps. So the new generation of investigators is kind of strange to look at because they're all learning from certain TV shows that I won't mention.
Let's just go ahead and throw them out there.
Yeah, Max will do it. Max won't hesitate.
We've talked about some of those TV shows before and about how
good. I'm glad.
Supposedly they're there to find something, and then when they find it, they scream and run. Which
exactly.
Beyond me.
It's just for entertainment, I guess.
Well, we're all totally volunteer, of course, and but I always say Max would fire us if we were to run.
Even his mama.
I know, right? Absolutely.
I'm his mom. I'm Max's mom, so.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
So
if he fires me, I'm taking the equipment.
Yeah, well, most of what she's bought. So how old are you right now?
I'm 23.
So how
you
how
are
many years,
young.
How many years
I'm a
have you
youngin.
been doing it?
I'm a youngin. I'm an old soul. So since I was around 16 years old, I really started getting into it.
That's 7 years, Max.
Yeah, so that's when I joined my first group. But yeah, I'm a youngin. I like to call myself an old soul.
Somebody asked, "What's
I
your favorite
understand
piece of equipment?"
Excuse me, what's the question?
Somebody asked, "What's your favorite piece of equipment?"
Ashley Turner asked that question.
Oh boy, I'm very.
I didn't want to call her
with
out, but okay.
Too late now.
Yes, that happens to be my girlfriend. So my my favorite piece of equipment would be the one that we collect the most data on, which is a voice recorder. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to dive into this a bit.
Good.
I'm an equipment tech for both of my teams, so I use a lot of equipment on my investigations. Voice recorders. I could literally talk about this for a very long time, just because there's a lot of misconceptions as to their use and the different types. So I'm just going to state some facts.
Good.
So if you're serious into paranormal investigating, then this is probably the talk you want to hear. But if you're just starting out, go buy a $10 recorder. Use your cell phone to record. Get a feel for what